The desert was never supposed to remember anything, yet one morning, after a rare storm tore through the empty quarter, a dune split open like a cracked shell. Beneath it lay a stone doorway, polished, geometric, carved with symbols that didn't belong to any known Arabian tribe. But this doorway wasn't the strangest thing waiting beneath the sand. The archaeologists who arrived at sunrise expected a tomb. What they found instead was a chamber built with a precision that shouldn't have existed thousands of years before recorded Emirati history. And the deeper they stepped inside, the more impossible it became to explain. A map etched across the walls, a map showing coastlines that only satellites today can see. And in the center of the room, a circular stone disk, humming faintly, as if the desert itself had been holding its breath for centuries. Something in the room felt alive, watching, waiting. One researcher whispered, "If this is real, then our entire timeline is wrong." You're watching World Untold. Subscribe for more untold history. But that was only the first crack in the story they were about to uncover. When news of the chamber leaked, it was called a myth, another desert legend meant to stir curiosity. But the truth, as we now know, goes much deeper. The United Arab Emirates, a young nation on the surface, stands atop some of the oldest human stories ever uncovered on the Arabian Peninsula. And those stories were about to reveal themselves in ways no one expected. Long before skyscrapers touched the sky of Dubai or the pearl divers shaped the early coasts, this land saw migrations, collapses, forgotten settlements, and cultures that vanished as if absorbed by the sand. But one of those cultures didn't vanish, it hid clues everywhere. The discovery in the empty quarter was just the latest crack in a long-hidden story. Researchers began tracing the symbols from the stone disk, comparing them with ancient tribal markings, maritime glyphs, and early South Arabian inscriptions. Then one symbol began appearing where no one thought to look. None were a match. But one pattern kept reappearing, an alignment of three geometric shapes pointing toward the coast of Fujairah. And that alignment would lead them into the ocean itself. When the team traveled there, they uncovered something unexpected, a line of underwater stone pillars lying just 50 meters from the shore. They were eroded, but unmistakably arranged by human hands. But the real question was, what were these stones pointing at? Some theorized they had once held a wooden platform, perhaps a ritual walkway or ancient port. Others believed they were astronomical markers, aligning perfectly with the sunrise during the spring equinox nearly 6,000 years ago. Yet none of these theories explained what came next. As they dug deeper into the region's archives, they found writings from early Portuguese sailors describing ruins near the same shoreline, ruins the explorers claimed belonged to a forgotten people who built like the Greeks but lived like desert nomads. A forgotten people, whose fingerprints were everywhere. Historians dismissed the accounts as exaggeration, until now. But the most shocking connection came from inland. Because the desert wasn't the only place hiding secrets. In the mountains of Ras Al Khaimah, shepherds have long spoken of the Echo Cave, a place where footsteps multiplied and voices returned in strange harmonies. And inside that cave, the past wasn't silent, it spoke back. When acoustic specialists investigated it, they realized the cave wasn't natural. Its walls had been carved in spiral patterns designed to amplify sound, technology far ahead of what any known culture in the region possessed at the time. But the carvings matched something even older. The carvings inside the cave matched the geometric shapes from the desert chamber. Suddenly, three locations, hundreds of kilometers apart, were telling one story. A story too old to fit into any known history book. A civilization older than Dilmun, older than the early Gulf traders, perhaps even older than the people who first crossed Arabia after the Ice Age. This civilization seemed obsessed with two things: sound and water. And they used both in ways we still don't understand. The chamber in the empty quarter was built like a resonator, its stone disc vibrating when exposed to certain frequencies. The underwater pillars near Fujairah faced the direction where monsoon winds shifted. Everything they built seemed to be listening to the world around them. And the echo cave, with its spiraling interior, suggested they were studying how sound traveled through stone, air, and earth. One theory emerged: these people understood environmental shifts better than we do today. And they may have predicted something devastating. They measured storms, tides, and wind patterns with acoustic structures, predicting the desert's devastating climate cycles. Every few thousand years, the Arabian Peninsula transforms: wet years, dry years, rising seas, falling lakes. These changes could erase entire cultures. Unless a culture learned to move before the disaster hit. Maybe this one wasn't erased. Maybe it moved, migrating with the changing coastline, leaving only clues behind. But then came the most startling discovery. A discovery hidden beneath the chamber's stone floor. During a thermal scan of the chamber floor, researchers found a second layer, a sealed vault beneath the first. Opening it required delicate work, but when it finally revealed its contents, everyone in the room froze. Because the vault held something no one expected to survive time. Inside were 8 clay tablets, wrapped in palm fibers and preserved by dry desert air. Each tablet showed the same symbol repeated across centuries, a circle with 4 lines pointing outward, like the sun rising over the horizon. But one of these tablets refused to follow the pattern. Some believe it represented a deity, others a calendar system. But one tablet was different. It contained a rudimentary star map, showing constellations shifted from their modern positions. A star map older than any known human chart. Astronomers recalculated the sky's alignment and estimated its age at nearly 7,500 years old. This meant that whoever carved it lived in a landscape far greener than the UAE we know today, a time when rivers cut through the Gulf and the desert was a savanna. And they left one final message behind. And buried in the final tablet was a message, symbols forming migration routes stretching from Arabia toward the Mediterranean, East Africa, and the Indus Valley. If more sites are found beneath the dunes, they could reshape not just Emirati history, but the entire human timeline. Because some secrets sleep beneath the sand, waiting for the wind to reveal them. And the next secret may be closer than anyone realizes.